Wrestling fans, welcome to yet another edition of the Wrestling Wrap Up with the Tekmaster. So here I am. All right. So I got to talk about this first because this is just absolutely crazy. Last week, CM Punk was released with cause by AEW. Now, there's tons of rumors. I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what happened, but everything leading up to CM Punk's departure from AEW, I can't really say that I, saw it coming. I mean, I really thought that AEW would keep CM Punk. They would, obviously we're trying to keep CM Punk. They created AEW Collision on Saturdays solely for CM Punk to just keep him separated from the Dynamite, weekly TV show. But Tony Khan had the balls to release CM Punk this last week. Now, the question is, where does CM Punk go from here? Is he done? Is he done with pro wrestling? Does he go back to the UFC? Does he go back to mixed martial arts? What does CM Punk do? Where does CM Punk go from here? Does he go to the WWE? So apparently Nick Khan was asked today during a press conference after the whole, acquisition of UFC, WWE, and TKO all, being merged together in one company. Nick Khan basically just said, hey, we respect Phil. Phil has done a lot for our organization. We appreciate everything he's done and we respect him. And he left it at that. So take that for what you will. Will CM Punk go to the WWE? Who the hell knows, man? I mean, at this point, anything can happen, right, in the world of professional wrestling. I mean, right now, wrestling is by far the most, I would have to say the most intriguing and the most interesting thing right now since the WWF Attitude Era. Like, wrestling has just blown up. I mean, there's anywhere between 10 to 14 hours a week of pro wrestling. I mean, it's unbelievable, maybe even more than that. I mean, if you count Impact Wrestling and NXT and the shows that AEW has and WWE has, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Where does CM Punk go from here? I would not be surprised at this point if we see CM Punk show up in the WWE. I mean, for that to happen, it would, basically, it would, take a lot for CM Punk to come into the WWE. So we'll have to wait and see. But how will CM Punk be welcomed in the WWE? Would he be welcomed? What would that look like backstage? Some people wouldn't mind having him there. Some people would mind having him there. I mean, obviously, everybody sees money in CM Punk, especially with merchandise. So we'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, big story of the week last week, CM Punk being released with cause by AEW. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Let's shift gears to WWE Monday Night Raw. So Jey Uso comes into Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes basically works out some, backstage details and meets with whoever he needs to meet with and brings Jey Uso into Monday Night Raw. However, we know that Adam Pearce mentioned that somebody or a few people, we'll have to wait and see who that is, are going to have to make the jump to SmackDown. There's going to have to be a trade. My opinion, who do I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. I think they're going to do a swap. Jey Uso stays on Raw or comes to Monday Night Raw, and then Cody Rhodes will make the jump over to SmackDown. Why? It's simple. They need to start building up for Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns heading into WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Yes, I think it's going to happen. Now, it might be a little too early to build up for that. So we'll see how long it takes for them to make an announcement of who's going to be jumping from Raw to SmackDown, since Jey Uso is now a part of Raw. If they do announce either this week or in the next couple of weeks that Cody Rhodes is indeed the one that's going to be sent over to SmackDown, where do we go from here? I mean, you can't have Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns start to feud right away. It's too early. So what happens? I personally think that we're going to see John Cena and Cody Rhodes get into a small little feud and have at least one or two matches between now and then. Now, John Cena is definitely going to be on SmackDown until I believe the first week in October. So he is set to be in the WWE for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But it would be smart for the WWE to build John Cena and Cody Rhodes and have that official passing of the torch, if you will, finally from John Cena to Cody Rhodes. Then you can start building up to the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes rematch as we head into the Royal Rumble. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. We did see the return of Nia Jax this week on Raw. That was a shock to everybody, although Nia Jax, from my understanding, has been signed with the WWE for the last month or so. They just finally brought her in. And she attacked Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. So great way to end Monday Night Raw. Now, if you ask me, what I would have done is I would have just had Zelina Vega come out, and I would have had her in that, in that match. I would have had her in the championship match. I would have given her the title. For those of you who don't know Zelina Vega's story, it's simple. Her father died in 9/11. Her father was one of the people, unfortunately, that passed away in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. And let me tell you, what a story that would have told if Zelina Vega had come out on Monday Night Raw. There's a lot more to, the story, but for her to come out on Monday Night Raw and be given the opportunity against Rhea Ripley for the World Heavyweight Women's Championship on Monday Night Raw, even if they give it to her for a week, a couple of weeks, a month, whatever the case may be, man, just imagine what kind of a story that would have told, especially knowing that Zelina Vega had told her dad that one day she was going to become the WWE Women's Champion. Man, I got goosebumps even just saying that. So moving on now to NXT. So Becky Lynch has dethroned Tiffany Stratton, and she is now the NXT Women's Champion. Yes, you heard me right. Becky Lynch has dethroned Tiffany Stratton, and she has become the NXT Women's Champion, a title that she has never won up until now. Unbelievable. I think it's a great opportunity for NXT fans to see somebody of Becky Lynch's caliber there, on the shows. For her to carry the women's championship, I mean, unless she's going to put somebody else over, or she's going to, give Tiffany Stratton a rematch. I mean, where do you go from here with Becky Lynch? I mean, Becky Lynch is the NXT Women's Champion. It's going to be very interesting to see. I don't see Becky Lynch staying in NXT for very long, and I definitely don't see her, keeping the NXT Women's Championship for very long. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Also, Dragunov becomes the #1 contender for the NXT title. So that's going to be great to see. And of course, we have something else to look forward to on NXT. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. That match is definitely going to be coming up very soon. I got to say this, guys. NXT has been absolutely incredible. I mean, it has been must-see TV, at least for the last several weeks. I mean, NXT has grown. NXT is just a phenomenal show. If you haven't watched NXT, you need to spend some time each and every week and make time to watch NXT, whether it's live or, you record it, DVR it, whatever the case may be. But you guys need to see NXT. I mean, it is must-watch TV. It's terrific. Moving on to AEW, Bryan Danielson, man. This guy, what a phenomenal talent. But he's more of a, family man. I mean, this guy is just a tremendous man, whether it's inside the ring, outside the ring, but he's a family man, and he has made it known that when his daughter reaches a certain age, he promised that he was going to be home more and spend time with her, and he was going to basically leave the world of professional wrestling. There's a lot of rumors out there right now that within the next year, Daniel Bryan could be gone from the world of professional wrestling. If that's the case, man, hats off to Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. I call him Daniel Bryan. He's always going to be Daniel Bryan to me. But Bryan Danielson, if he does retire the next year, man, what a storybook career he's had. I mean, headlining WrestleMania, winning the WWE Championship. Man, he has had just an illustrious career. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to Bryan Danielson within the next year. But before he retires, we know for sure that he's going to have some phenomenal matches. He already is having some phenomenal matches, but within the next year in AEW, I can't imagine the matches that we're going to see before he does retire. There's also Ricky Starks and Big Bill. So you guys know Big Bill as Kaz, Big Kaz from the WWE. But now he's Big Bill in AEW, and he's looking to add some gold to his faction here with Ricky Starks. So he's going to be taking on Jon Moxley this week on Dynamite. I have to say, I'm not thrilled with the way AEW is using Big Bill. I mean, this is a guy that you should be building up as a monster someone that's almost untouchable, kind of like the way you built up Wardlow. Where's Wardlow? Wardlow gets hot. AEW cools him off. He's off TV for a bit. He comes back. He's hot. AEW cools him off, and then he's gone again. Now he's coming back one more time. Is the third or fourth time the charm with Wardlow? We'll have to wait and see. I'm a big Wardlow fan, but man, AEW has really just not done right by Wardlow. I can tell you guys that much. AEW's got a lot of stuff coming up. AEW, the Grand Slam tournament, Wrestle Dream, etc. I mean, there's so many things going on in AEW right now. There's so much action, so many matches, so many shows, but there's too many titles. There's too many damn titles in AEW. I don't care if you have Ring of Honor. I don't care, whatever the case may be. I mean, there's too many titles in AEW. You got to just take a lot of those titles out, retire them, merge them, bring them together, unify them, whatever it is that you're going to do, you got to do it because there's too many titles in AEW, man. It's just unbelievable. So, but we'll have to wait and see, though. AEW has a lot of great talent, a lot of great wrestling, tremendous matches. My hat's off to AEW and Tony Khan. I just hope that they can overcome all this backstage drama and bullshit that goes on. That's just, I guess time will tell. If CM Punk really was the reason behind all the backstage drama, then with him being gone, we should see a better product, and we should see, different overview in the locker room there in the back. So we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to SmackDown, guys. Roman Reigns is not appearing on SmackDown. He hasn't appeared on SmackDown in a few weeks. I will say that it's kind of hurting SmackDown. It's kind of hurting the viewership. It's kind of hurting the fans who are into the Bloodline storyline. I mean, gotta admit, the Bloodline storyline is flat right now. You've got Jimmy Uso, who basically caused all this trouble and all these problems trying to get back into the Bloodline. I mean, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, what is going on? Why is Jimmy trying to get back into the Bloodline? It just makes no sense. I don't know. It makes absolutely no sense. Switching gears here, LA Knight, man. Let me just tell you guys, LA Knight is incredible. However, LA Knight needs to do more. He needs to kind of now step away from that catchphrase, being just a catchphrase guy, and he's got to step up and he's got to show us some good wrestling, have some good matches, be in some good detailed storylines. And then, you know what? I'm going to say, dude, he's the man. The sky's the limit. Right now, I don't want to say he's a one-trick pony, but he's a one-trick pony. He is a catchphrase wrestler, but he's over. His merchandise sales, yeah. I mean, there's a catchphrase right there, right? I don't know, guys. I mean, I love LA Knight. He's obviously, a very popular wrestler, selling a lot of merchandise. The fans just absolutely go crazy. I mean, this guy gets pops like The Rock and Steve Austin did back in the Attitude Era. It's unbelievable. He defeated Austin Theory on SmackDown this last week. And Austin Theory, it's like, dude, what are you guys doing with Austin Theory? This was a guy that you were building up as well. This was a former United States champion. You had this guy in a position to where he was going to be on the level of LA Knight, or at least getting to that level. And now it's like, Austin Theory? Who's Austin Theory? Oh, he's still wrestling? Oh, he's still on SmackDown? Oh, okay, cool. So I don't know, guys. We'll have to wait and see what happens. And then, of course, Matt Riddle. People have been asking, where's Matt Riddle? Well, Matt Riddle was at the airport this last weekend, and there was an incident that happened. I don't know. I wasn't there, but apparently the incident caused a big scene, and he tried to use his status with the WWE as kind of a way to excuse, I guess, the incident and as to what happened. But needless to say, I don't think we'll see Matt Riddle on WWE television anytime soon. Again, this is a guy that's a tremendous talent. Great character and some good storylines and feuds and matches, but he just is having some issues behind the camera. So we'll have to wait and see if he can work those out and return to WWE television. And the biggest news this week, or the biggest news of the day, of course, is, as I mentioned earlier, the acquisition has been completed. TKO Holdings has successfully acquired the WWE Vince McMahon and the McMahon family are no longer majority shareholders of the WWE. So it's the end of an era, but it's the beginning of a new era. And what really changes in something like this? To be honest with you guys, nothing. You're not going to see any storyline changes. You're not going to see any kind of shakeups or anything like that. I mean, obviously, whenever there's a merger or an acquisition, unfortunately, you'll see some office staff or people behind the scenes maybe get laid off or lose their jobs, which is unfortunate. But for the most part, I mean, on WWE TV or the product itself, you're not going to notice anything different. I mean, it's business as usual when something like this occurs. So anyways, we'll have to wait and see. This is a very interesting week in the world of professional wrestling. Once again, this is the Wrestling Wrap-Up. I'm the Tekmaster, and thank you all for joining me. Until next week, peace.